Yangekeno Mbote, Wenu Siemi, all praises to nZambi and Kulu. I haven't said that in a while. Nkulu nZambi. Kukwisi Mbote, welcome to yet another teaching I'm doing. I know I haven't responded to some comments. I will do my best. Kind of hectic lately. This video today, once again, Kukwisi Mbote, to all the Banabetu scattered across the earth, to all the non-Banabetu who are also scattered, and to all of those who are continuing to wake up in this time. Give you all praise. I bid you Kukwisi Mbote, welcome. I'm called once again to bring this message. It's been running through my head. And so what I'm going to do today is give an overall synopsis to the Earth's history and the things that took place that have been altered for certain reasons, and then talk about what comes soon and what comes next for our people as we return to our land. When Tata nZambi goes and he reaches out to the four corners of the earth and brings back his dispersed daughter to himself. All praises. I honor all of you doing the Tata nZambi's work. Mfumu Yave Kongo, the Most High God of Truth. All of you that are continuing to pray for our return. And I give honor to all of you that continue to endure many of the different things, because now it's going to get a whole lot tougher, as we know. And some major things are coming. I was just speaking with a brother today that the Most High did, that he's meant to, it was kept away from many people because of the things that happened. But soon we will see how this is going to happen. We're going to be a little bit quiet because it's nighttime here. My wife is sleeping. I'm going to play a song real quick. I don't own the copyrights. I don't own any of the music, so I'm not here for this. It's not for redistribution of any kind. The music is primarily for edification purposes only, and for our people to grow in knowledge and spirit and the truth. Mbote. Saying once again, Zola Kwingi. Zola Kwingi. Much love. Sambulolo. To your prayers. And once again, we're going to talk about certain things that put everything into perspective. Why Black people are continuing to suffer across the earth. Why many things are happening in this world. And yeah, there's a transition coming. And we will soon see many things going down as a lot of stuff is starting to become revealed, exposed, and many changes are starting to take place. You know, the imposters are starting to act like they're cleaning house of their own and to pretend for the people of a righteous earth, which we know requires the Most High of truth. So we know there's a major strong delusion coming. So prepare. All right, so just one moment and we'll get into this. All praises. If you can't hear it once again, hopefully we'll hear it. I don't know, this thing has been acting up. I know it's something to do with the network. I know there's been some issues with the cable lately, and I probably know why, but I will post it if it's not working right. Ingita. Kimbo, 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 hallelujah. Kimbo, 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 hallelujah. Kimbo, hallelujah. Kimbo, hallelujah. Kimbo, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Kimbo, hallelujah. Kimbo, hallelujah. Kimbo, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Kimbo, hallelujah. It's a Kimbo, Kimbo, hallelujah. Kimbo, hallelujah. Kese, Kese, hallelujah. Kese, hallelujah. Kimbo, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Kimbo, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Kimbo, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Bwana moyo moyo. Excuse me. Oh, Excuse me. Yave Kongo, Tata nZambi, Kongo, hallelujah. The Ancient of Days, time. Take it down. Good, do it. Oh, the long day. Sorry. nZambi bakota me elonga. 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 nZambi na yo. Oh, nZambi na yo. nZambi bakota no. nZambi bakota no. All praises, Kimbo, na nZambi. Wanakumbase, imana msaliselo, setu, sakupanzo nzinga. All praises, Kimbo, hallelujah. Makanda, Wikichila. Family, please listen. All praises to nZambi, Pungu Father, come before you humbly once again to your throne, knocking on the door. Hopefully, Tata nZambi, that my contract is intact with you. We come once again seeking your face, Tata nZambi, that you will reveal, that the Mwanda of Allah will flow, that you will allow nKusu Wa Kongo to be in the midst, that the Mleki Wa Kongo will come, Assalamu Maleki Kongo. That all praises Yenge Kongo to the Pemba Kalunga, to all of the righteous that have made it up into the 7th, 6th, and 7th heavens, to all of you who are in the Zulu, the kings and queens of the earth that passed on and many have come back. Continue to do our part to restore the kingdom of Congo, the Intotela. We ask that you continue to watch over us. For many people have been deceived. We'll talk about that. All the way down to Adama Ya Kongo, to Amamama Yave Kongo, we honor you. Our praises to Kimba to nZambi by nKusu, hallelujah. Ingita. All right, family, Makanda. Wakanda. The scriptures are for the Nkanda, the family of Zulu, who was supposed to be Maliki Makongo. That's why there's different groups of fallen angels. There were the ones who were created in the Pemba Kalunga that fell. And then there were those who were called to be Malekis on the earth. earth that fell as well, and that's why we are where we are. We're going to talk about what happened. You know, as many people drive around, they see what's going on in this world, they just go about their daily lives. They claim to think that they know what's going on. Some people are confused about it. They go about living the way they're living today in this world, not realizing that there's a great many misinformation that has been given to hide many things. That's why you have false teachings, false doctrines, false narratives, and there's always the threat. I don't know if anybody got a chance to watch the video that I talked about, but many things are starting to come out now, and soon it's going to hit rock bottom. It's going to blow people away. But I'm going to lead off today. All right, so my mission given to me, as I know back in the 1990s when it started, I was learning, how did the devil deceive the whole world? Okay. For many of us who have been learning from people in this awakening, we know that there was a intention of the Most High to create the heavens and the earth. And he created the Maleki Wa Kongo at that time. He created Isaiah Kuswa, Montevello was in existence. The real Holy Spirit, that the Spirit has descended upon the earth and has brought the essence of the Most High into the creation as he began to create all the things that would become perfect, good in his sight. And we know Tata nZambi is the only one who was good, and he knows what he wanted. And of course, we get to the part where there was the decision to create the human being in his own image and likeness, which there was argument. And I'm pretty sure you can guess the majority of the argument was probably with the ones who fell in the first place. But we'll get to that. All right. So, how did the dragon deceive the whole world? First and foremost, when the decision he made that he was not going to bow down to the Most High's image and likeness, you must understand that Tata nZambi's whole purpose is to be glorified by his creation, by those who he created, of course, for his purpose. Now, from the time the Most High laid the foundation, he knew that it would be the agenda for the earth to be ran by his chosen people. Okay, this was the mission that was to be done when the intent was to create a man and woman, Muntu. Okay. Now, as he was well aware of, there was going to be resistance to this concept because he knew that he was testing those who wanted to be with him and show him the love and be their master and be the father, and those who were wavering to that aspect. And of course, we had the fall. The dragon was booted, and he had actually said to the Most High he was going to set up a kingdom against his kingdom. Okay. From then on, the plan was for the kingdom of Kongo to be destroyed, and that the kingdom of Shaitani, the fallen ones, would reign forever, with the understanding that they would never allow the earth to be controlled by the chosen people ever. Okay, this is all part of the process. Where did this start? Okay. And this is why so many scriptures have been altered, so many scriptures have been tainted, so many things have been done. Okay. So the fallen one was always going to challenge uh, the creation's first Muntu, that he would prove that no man, no Muntu could ever be more powerful than him, and that no one would rise above his status. So this was the whole concept, to destroy the plan of Tata nZambi, to have his chosen people rule the earth. So it starts off, we know, with the first woman who was not Eva, which they lied about, where to stop the process was to first not, was to keep this person from being united with him. Okay. So of course she decided to leave. She refused to become submissive to Adama. And at that point, she would become his nemesis forever, alongside the dragon, the fallen one. Then, when Eva steps on the scene, we know that Shaitani goal was to cause a modification of the bloodline so that a righteous seed would not have dominion over the earth. Okay. So you have what they did to, the plan was always to stop this righteous seed from being in dominion. So from there, you have the incident where the devil tricked Eva, which they did not put in the Bible, but it's in the other scriptures, to have a child with him, so that this would begin the process of messing up the seed. You also have where the harlot woman, which they did not talk about, would create children with Adama that would become demonic. Okay. This is why I've learned now, and this is what people don't know, is you think that you don't have spiritual children with her, you're a liar. Okay. You're going to find out many Bantu people who have done wickedness sexually in the spiritual world, you're going to find out you have a problem. This is why Tata nZambi is going to show you why you need to have forgiveness of sins, because you have loosed some things spiritually. So the devil has a lot of spiritual children that many of us have created that are causing us problems that we just don't know about. Okay. And this is this one of the things they hide. This is why she thinks that whenever you do anything that goes against the Most High's law, this is where this particular spirit wants to have control over you or dominion, so that you will be always dealing with spiritual problems and blockages and all this other stuff, so that you don't have a connection to the Tata nZambi. Okay. We know this is something that happened with Tina Solomon. So as they have the righteous and Sethu seed that started to come out of this, but we first had the first murder, Kaina and Abele. Why? There's more to it than what happened. Because Shaitani did not want a righteous seed to brings forth and spurn the Most High's chosen people. So the jealousy of Cain allowed Abel, which would begin the conflict of good versus evil from there on. And because one of the things, like we know, the Most High uses the creation for his spirit to dwell, and the devil does the same. Okay. So from then on, the goal was to, because of the promise to rectify the fall, the whole intent was to keep people from manifesting righteous powers, righteous connections, and not to be tools from the Most High. Which we know that nZambi did some things to make sure that when the time would come for the end, that there would be people in position, or entities in position to prepare for that process. Okay. And this is where the interference continues. So, of course, back in the days of Noah, the fallen ones did everything that was possible to not only stop the pure line from coming, but to create ways to stir the Most High to anger, and even to try to destroy and get back to his kingdom and take him down. That's why they cover up the giant trees and the giants going up and trying to get to the Pemba Kalunga, always trying to break into the Most High's kingdom to take him down, so that the devil's kingdom would always be the one that reigns. Okay. So you have things that were taught to human beings that were not supposed to be taught. Okay, the knowledge that people were learning that they shouldn't. But then you had the Most High's righteous knowledge, okay, that was being taught just to keep us from worshiping the dead things. You know that the wicked seed started to worship demons, false gods, all these different things, mess with the nature, bring disruption, like chaos, because the Shaitan is all about chaos, while he's still masquerading that he is good, right? Like he's good. So of course we have this scenario where he tricked, as Cain people bring over the cities, and among other entities. We have Tata, whose lineage is supposed to carry this light and carry the knowledge Adama possess forward to build the assembly, to continue the righteous sacrifices, to do the righteous path of the Most High, to do the purifications, the feast day, the laws, the statutes, moving forward, teaching this, okay? And of course, the corruption was going on. And of course, then we had Hanoka, who comes because the Most High said it's time for him to deal with the unruly creation that brings forth judgment, which was executed by Methuselah, among others, and the Malekis have come down to deal with that. But then we see that with the corruption being the way it was, that nZambi said there needs to be a reset with Noah. Of course, being that Shaitani wanted to make sure, once again, that this seed did not come forth, spring forth. He tried to stop that, and he failed. Okay, the ark, the purification, the laws, statutes, and commandments stayed in existence, and we now come to the next level, Nsemu, Kama, and Yapeta, of which we know with what Shaitani, some of the watchers that came forward, and the hybrids, they once again started to run interference, but the righteous lineage would come through Nsemu. But the Shetani made to make it with the 10 generations up to Abana would become corrupted, and the Most High would bring judgments. And then, of course, we get to Nimrod, okay? And, of course, he was bewitched by his mother by claiming that him and his gods were rulers, and they were to replace the lineage of Semu, okay? And began to say that this is the new Adama that would be the ruler of all rulers, and to, of course, with the wicked generation, knowing that the Most High would scatter them, they then attempted to break into the kingdom and take down the Most High, of which he once again played with them and made them believe it was possible. And then, of course, he humiliated them, as he always does. So then we get to Abana and Zingi, the Pearl calls Abraham. And we're getting to the point now where the Most High is going to begin the process of building his nation. Okay. Now, of course, with Shaitani, once again, he wants to stop this from happening. So he tries his best to kill this child before he can get started, which the Most High intervened. He is spared. He goes through all of the attempts of the imposters to try to stop him from receiving the blessing of the Most High to become the father of the nations. And he begins to learn the way of the Most High after he's been doing paganism that was done through the wickedness of Nimrod. He learns how to worship Tata nZambi. He learns the ways of the Most High. He goes back to Nsemu and Noka, who is still alive. Maliki Sadeki, he learns and once again, he starts with the light, the lamp, like we had, that was happened in the days of Noka to try to extinguish, because see, this light that we're bringing forward is going to be connected to eventually Isaiah, which will begin the process, because like Simon Toko said, the true father of the real church starts with Abana. He's the one that put all the things in order to how to worship, how to create the process of being with the Most High, to do his law, statutes, and commandments. And of course, the other nations were aware of it, but they used it carnally and they perverted it. Okay? Let's see how, because like I said, his law is universal. Because Shaitani was going to make sure that there was going to be no way that the Most High could find a pure bloodline to bring forth his children. So now comes Nsaka, which means to laugh in Kikongo, Seka. And Shaitani tries to kill him. Okay. He also tries to get Abana to disobey the Most High. He does all kind of tricks. He does all kind of things. This is also in scriptures they took out. He tries to run interference. So this is going to show you how deceived many people in Christianity are, is that to be like the Most High will always render interference from the dragon. Okay. So once again, he tries to stop this process. He tries to convince Ishmael, who would be born, to try to kill Nsaka, which that fails. Okay, before he can bring forth the one child that would become the nation. Okay, so we have once again the interference of the fallen angels against the Most High, the hybrids, the demons. They're trying to stop this process. Okay. So then we come along to Yakubi, who's born with the twin, Esau. Okay. So now here once again, Shaitani plots. Of course, him and Yakubi, they're not quite the same. Yakubi gets the blessing, Simba, because he grabs Yakubi's heel. We have the argument and the tussling in the womb. Esau doesn't want, he obviously had bad spirits with him. So, of course, once we have the blessing of Isaka upon Yakubi, now we have the attention and tempt for Shaitani to put things into play that there will always be the lineage of Esau and the other nations that Tata nZambi has already begun to deal with. They will now rise up against the house of Yakubi, Isolide, Isaela. During this time, we have Esau who kills Nimrod, but then he himself becomes killed after Yakubi dies. They all, they form their families, and they are called to do different works. Okay. Like I said, I'm just summarizing. I know there's a lot more detail and stuff that they did, but it's trying to get you a picture of why the world is the way it is and where we're going. So now there's always this resistance of Shaitani against the house of Yakuba to continue to stop any person from being above him, back with the Dhamma, and for no one to be Maleki Kongo, that is a human being. That's the whole point. He doesn't want no Maleki Kongos above him. That's human being. That's person. So this whole concept is so that no one can have dominion over him. He's trying to run interference on his lineage. So that's why with all the lineage of the kings that started to appear after we come out, so Shaitani uses the false spirits against the house of Yakubi with the brothers, the 12 brothers and the sister Dinah and all them, to go against Yosefu, which results in them having to travel to Ingipiti, where the intent of Shaitani is we will perish. Okay. That was the whole process after Yosefu passed, after he was raised up. Okay. And Seti, who took the name just like what Esau took as a demon, because he thought that he would replace, because Esau's intent was he spiritually would replace his brother's lineage. And so in the land of Ingipiti, it is decided that we must be exterminated. Okay. Now we know what happens. That doesn't happen. The Most High multiplies us. They can't stop us. They even go to murder us, throw into the crocodiles. Okay. And so from there, the Most High's promise comes in the Mosi, and he says, I'm going to take, he goes to see Tata nZambi after he finds out who he is, and he comes back and he goes up against the Pharaoh. And of course, we know that nZambi delivers us. Okay, now. And so, once again, Shaitani is well aware that here we go, getting ready to go form our nation. So he, of course, he runs interference with that. The Most High spares us with his miracles. We wander, we ground against Tata nZambi, we wander. Mosi even gets angry with us. Okay, he kills the Edomites, the Hittites, and other groups in front of us. We're led up with the eagle they took out of the Bible, Tata nZambi Pongo Tulendo. We have the pillar of fire and all that, and we're eating the manna okay, going into the wilderness. And of course, because they changed the direction we went in the scriptures, we really went south, not north. Okay. And so we get to our land. And of course, Shaitani's intention is to rise up the land of the Canaanites against us. Okay. They fail. So at that point now, boom, we've reached our promised land. We're a nation. And we begin the process of building, right? Of course, Shaitani starts running all kind of interference by creating our hatred and not doing the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. We have problems with the Philistines. We have problems with the Persians, and we have problems with all of the nations. We disobey the Most High's laws. We go into captivity again. Okay, we have the issue that, well, first of all, we have the issue with Davidi and Saul. Then we have Solomon. He does something wicked. He builds the temple, divides the kingdom. So we know this is what you got to understand. This is a trend that's going on for where the devil is saying there will never be a nation, but the Most High, he knew that this nation was picked for the Most High. He said, this nation will never rule over mine. Because remember, the devil was giving the other nations that the Most High caused them to rise and fall. And it's always been Tata nZambi versus Shaitani, always running the interference. Okay. And he has constantly, causing these problems. We know he put some wicked kings show up. We then once again start being like the heathen that he had this, he made low, worshiping paganism and all kinds of sacrifices of blood and all these, and we're up in Sodom and Gomorrah. Back in the day, he's just making a mess, right? There was other giants, the mixing of we had what happened with Gog and Magog, and all these other nations started to hate the kingdom of Kongo. We come out of Babylon once again. We go to we come to build the Most High's land, and of course, Shaitani once again runs interference. He brings in imposters. He brings in the converts. He caused the temple to be defiled. They scatter once again. Now the Romans come into the picture that were formed, and bam, is where that starts. The Roman Empire now goes into effect against the kingdom of Kongo, right? So then from there, Isaiah comes on the scene after all the prophets that came trying to teach the Most High's way. And he says, I will be the one that fulfills the law that goes all the way back to Adama, even through the time we come out of Ingipity that was given to Massa. He was like a God figure coming down. People like, whoa, so Isaiah comes on the scene and he starts to teach the Most High's law. He runs into problems with the converts and the Sanhedrin and our own people who say, who is this guy to be teaching the Most High? And he starts showing the Most High's way. And of course, what he's doing at this time, because the devil's running interference, is he is causing our people to walk the righteous path, but to those who are benefiting from our sins, this creates the problem. Okay? Because the devil always knew that in the promises the Most High get, that whenever his people would break the law, statutes, and commandments, he would reap the benefits. Okay? He would be powerful, he would stay strong. So then this is why he said, this guy, Isaiah, I'm going to have to take care of him. But of course, Isaiah disobeyed the Most High, and he walks in the path with Wa Kongo Yisu. And of course, they want to kill him because he's now causing the sins, the Most High's people to honor the righteous path, but some people are not willing to accept it. Some people are. He does a lot of miracles. He has a lot of dissension. People want to challenge him. People want to kill him. People, all these things going on. And he creates followers. And then, of course, we now know that they lied about this. He encounters a woman. He comes with her. There's things that happen with that. And because, like I heard, they taught another Jesus. Okay. So now we know they kill him, but he doesn't, but he succeeds over that. He becomes able to defeat Shaitani. And from there, he has the keys. Okay. And he passes on to his chosen to continue the work of the nZambi. So from there, we know Shaitani says, I'm not going to let this church, this assembly, overpower my kingdom. And of course, Isaiah says, and this is the reason why he left. Okay. He knew that Shaitani had been given a time to rule, and that the Most High's kingdom would come after Shaitani's kingdom would end. Okay. So he still was a king in the Pemba Kalunga, and he was a servant of the Most High here, and he was worthy of what he did. And there were other kings, some of them are even ours, they put other kings over us. Then there were kings that come after, okay? But he would come back to be the King of Kings as the shepherd when it would come time for him and Shaitani's kingdom to fall. But in that meantime, while he was gone, he said, don't let anybody convince you that they are me, because they're gonna lead you astray. Told this to many people that followed him. The people that follow him, he told, he did a lot of things, a lot of things, so many things. It's like it says, it's bigger than the heavens can write, earth can write, but they hid this fact. So then out of this spawns the assemblies, but they become corrupted because once again, Shaitani doesn't want anybody to dominate his kingdom. So then from there, you have the Gentiles who start messing it all up, and they start doing their own thing. You have our people who are arguing against them. No, this is the way it's supposed to be. We're going back and forth. Wars are ensuing over this. People die, martyrs. People change. We have kingdoms. People change things. We running away from it. They're trying to kill it because our kingdom gets destroyed. We start a war with the Romans. That war starts. The converts are involved. They run. They scatter. They destroy all the Banabetu settlements. All of the Solomon. They got the 3. They got the 1 in Namibia because when King Solomon built the temple, the northern and southern kingdoms went to split from Yaoundé, and they went and built another. They had another Solomon. Then after what happened with Jezebel and them, the northern kingdom, they got upset and they went and go build another one. Okay, and that third one is what Rome used after their war started with us as their outposts, that they would battle with the Khazars and other groups over this land, knowing that the real one was in Africa. Okay, where they killed Uzziah there. But then here comes Constantine changing all the knowledge. His mother, they hide this. They burn down they get the library burned down of knowledge. And then, of course, the other nations are dealing with their things going on in their history and wars and fighting, because they're the same gods are messing with these people all along. Rome Rome comes over here to the Americas and Greece and everything. You know, Babylonian history. They built pyramids and stuff in the Americas, and of course they covered all this up. They used a lot of portals and stuff like that, and technology that they covered up. And we're of course fighting these hybrids that are running around, and we're dealing with fights constantly because we had to go. We were always battling these nations. And of course, when Tata nZambi was with us, we blasted him. When he wasn't with us, boy, we got a butt whooping. Okay, and they always knew that. That was the key. So then comes the rise of the Constantinian Empire. He starts changing things. Europe starts getting crazy, and we're running now. And we saw what they did to the Khazars. They then become the Turks, and they come into the northern kingdom, Jerusalem, Salem, and they start taking it over. And then they have the wars that ensue from there. The Holy Roman Empire starts. Islam comes on the scene because of a split that took place between those that wanted to get Ishmael involved with fighting against us and the churches, and they said, okay, the devil came and said, I'm going to be Gabriel and you go write this Quran and everything. And next thing you know, and then of course, then Judaism comes on the scene for the people, for the converts who start teaching the law incorrectly, but with carnal. And they say, oh, only the first 5 books. And then they have the Talmud, and we're seeing all these false teachings coming from there. And the Bible comes on the scene, and it's altered by Rome, and they have the Nicene Council. They start taking things apart and all this because the whole concept is the devil does not want the Most High's kingdom to be above his. The kingdom of Kongo cannot rise up against his. This was the whole point. So then we're running. Tata nZambi brings us back to Congo de Ntotela. The countries are warring. There's a lot of wars going on. Asia, Europe, the Americas, the land of the Semu, all these things. Of course, we had we had the dividing of the continents because of the falling of Babylon. So then we get to 500 years ago. Now, there were giants. There was the days of Noah going on. Rome, the Catholic Church, you have Europe battling. Okay, you have War of the Roses, you have the Medici family, and all these other things going on. We got fallen angels in the mix, shapeshifters doing stuff, lying signs of wonder, because you know what happened with Simon the Sorcerer. He was used as the antithesis to Uzziah, and he replaced Kepler as the rock, as we now know. The world doesn't know this, okay, but this is where they all got messed up. And then so then what happens is the Most High brings us back together. Once again, Shaitani's like, the kingdom of Kongo could never rise against my kingdom. So he creates animosity between us. And the Most High also is doing things too. He's sending out false spirits because he's always, like I said, during this whole time, the Most High is always choosing to see who's his and who's not. Uzziah, when he came, he says, I'm planting seeds. Those who follow my way will be part of the flock. Okay. So then now, and this is where we are, the last 500 years becomes the biggest challenge, where not only does Shaitani not want the world to know the truth, but everything is done to hide it. Psalms 83, right there. We go back into slavery. These are all scriptures that were going to be fulfilled. You know, it's all written in the kingdom. There's a lot more scriptures. Rome hides the truth from their followers. They created a religion where you follow what we're told. They give a false salvation. Okay. And of course, we have the Templar Knights involved in this. We have the Moors involved in this. We have the Khazars involved in this. And of course, Asia is going to play their part in this with Genghis Khan and all these other things. So we see all kind of supernatural things happening around the earth, fallen angels, demons, the Most High's angels, and Maliki Kongo going on. So now we go back into captivity, just like every time before, and the world doesn't know that there's been a switch. Okay. So in this process, the spirit of Esau, of course, the spirit of Nimrod, and all the other false deities are now pretending to be the Most High's kingdom, saying that you would now Christianity will be the salvation. Anybody can be salvation as long as they believe in the Messiah. They switched to Messiah, so you don't know who you're really talking to. We reject the nZambi for this false Messiah. We get kicked out because of our argument. And now we come to the point where everybody gets memory problems. All because then at this point, we go through so much wickedness. So they put us into slavery, they beat the smack out of us, they tear us up, they literally consume us, they lie, they tell all kind of lies to people. Oh yeah, these are the heathens, and we are the civilized. They go across the earth and they start saying that we are the religion that you need to follow, when this is really the Babylonian practices coming back. Of course, we're all about, like I talked about, this is the constant, and because the whole objective from the flood was Shaitani to put back his cities that the Most High destroyed. So he's going to keep fighting this. And so now we are to the point where the devil has put all of his cities across the earth under the guise of the good guy. Okay. You have the different versions of religions that are now existing, but the big Abrahamic three are the ones that rule the earth. But Christianity is supposed to be number one, that has the Messiah. Okay. So in this process, we start to worship another Jesus that was not preached, mostly through force and intimidation. And then finally, people just going along with it. Now you can't tell them nothing. That's the way it was. The Bible is law. Not realizing that the first woman who played her role as a demonic entity has bewitched them. The fallen angels have bewitched them. And they have created a false reality that the world cannot see by creating, because like in Rome, they learned a lesson. And this always happened when the people start asking questions, create distractions. But now, because the devil's masquerading, we're not going to start doing stuff with a lot of blood and killing and gore all the time. They're going to make it look nice. That's where you get your sports, your competitions, your go on your vacations and go to Disney World and go do all these things while other people are getting tore up and you can't see. And then you got people fighting wars over land and territory. But oh, now the United States is the best country in the world type of thing. And you don't see what they've been doing behind the scenes, because they were already prophesied to be a certain entity in the Bible, but they covered that up. And now you see where the Most High's, this was all based, culminating into where it was going to be the end of Shaitani's kingdom forever and the beginning of the Most High's rest. And he would begin to rule forever. So what's going on? We are at the point now in the scriptures. Let's pull it up here. I meant to pull up the scripture. Now, all during this time, what the dragon was doing was creating people who were working for him in the shadows that would make sure that his kingdom would never go away. So you had people who were pretending to be something that they're not, creating governments and all these other things that they made it look good, schools, education, uh, you know, creating wars to make you think you need to defend your nation because they did this, that's what they were doing. And so it was like God, the country that God created for the world to be prepared for the kingdom is America, and Rome and Christianity. That of course we had the protests because they said, "Oh, now us Christians who are better than Rome, we are the ones that will bring the church." Well, we know it's always about to Bendway that they lied about, the Baklistu. And so now we have it where the dragon has made it to where people don't know that there's a group of people that that were always meant to be ruling, and that was the people who the Most High prepared the word for, and that's why they took out the scriptures like Ezra, who says that the world was always created for the chosen. Okay, so now uh, they made us, for those of who are chosen, they made us hate ourselves. They made us hate our land. They made us hate our people and love their ways and their stuff and turn us against one another, but still have us, those who believe in and go to church and doing the Christian way. This is the way to the Most High. Okay. And that's where we are today in this struggle. Okay. Um, so in this process of the last 100 to 200 years, this is the time that the dragon was preparing for. This is where the Most High knew, because the churches were going to be messed up, that he would send someone. I don't know what in the world. Let me Luke 21:24. This thing is. So now during all this time, you have people teaching doctrines, making money. Uh, Luke 21:24. Luca. All right. So this prophecy was to show us that we would go into another captivity and all of our people would be tormented, and that Salem, which is we know where it's at in Africa, that it would be trodden down, because even then when the Most High brought us together, there were still the other tribes there until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And this was on a clock. This is and what they don't tell you is this clock started after the flood, when we had Maliki Sedeki. I did that scripture where the Most High said the Shaitani would have 6,000, well, basically 6,000 years, and he would be running this clock until, okay. So in the last 100, 200 years or so, this, like the days of Noka, there was 120 years before Noka. He finished it. It didn't take him 120 years to build an ark. He was finishing up the preaching that him and Methuselah have been doing for about 500 something years. Okay. So this goes in line with what happened between our kingdom of Congo and their fall. Because see, the world went into turmoil after Hanukkah left, and they had to start preaching again to the seed of Cain. Hey, you need to chill out with this stuff. So then the Most High said, I'm going to give them 120 years, and they're going to be they're going to be doing this or not. Okay. So now we come to the last 500 years. We fell as a nation. We become scattered among the heathens. We started getting killed by the sword. This is your colonialism, by the way, is in this, in Africa and in Americas. They all got incorporated in this. And who's killing us by the sword are the people who are worshiping these false gods. Okay. No matter what you believe in, they're all involved. Even our own are killing each other because we're believing on these false gods. Okay. Now comes the time when the Gentile be fulfilled. This is the doomsday clock that they keep putting out there. When they knew the time was going to come to the end of the Gentiles. So in order to hide this concept, they took the last 120 years or more and began the process of hiding the truth, changing the history, using this time to eliminate the threats of the Most High's chosen people. So they made us unrecognizable. They used violence. They used all kind of ways. They got us to use violence against one another. They got misinterpretations of scripture going. You got all these pastors out here. Jesus is the way, Lord God. And you got people Allah, and you got, of course, the Hebrew Israelites. And we know that all these entities started because the Most High sent the messengers to say, it's time to get ready. Our time is coming. So this is where Kimbangu stepped on the scene, Padi, Matswa. You even had some people at nZambi a long time ago. You had William Brennan and other people started to say, something is coming, get ready. You had Malcolm come on the scene, you the real Jews. Okay, anybody who was trying to get Bantu people to do the Most High law, statutes, and commandments were the enemy. All the while, they were constantly modifying and building and preparing and using the do-good, the sheeple to build up these cities, okay? And then they use all kinds of good, bad things going on. Nice, being more nice than wicked, hiding themselves, working in the shadow governments, preparing for the time that we're dealing with today, okay? So now, what's going on? There was a time that had to come when Tata nZambi said, I take back, boom, the hands from the wicked, and I start my kingdom, which had to happen in the spirit before it happened in the flesh. Now, many of us in this awakening, we have a role to play in what the Most High did. Now, what did Shaitani do over the last 100-some years is he knew the Most High was working to bring the people forward, and his job was to take every single advantage to create interference. So he blew up Black Wall Street, the Most High. If he did something, the Most High countered, or he did this, the Most High came back, boom, okay. And this has been the back and forth game for the last 100-some years, until they finally got to where they started to put us into an environment where we were like doing so many things that was like the normal life that we've been given, like the hood and the businesses and all these things that we're doing. All the while, there are those who know the truth, but everybody's living the lie. Okay? So now where are we? We're to the point where now the world will see that they've been played. Okay? This was my job and many others. Is to show us that Shaitani, in order to stop the Most High's kingdom from coming, made the dynasty, tricked the brides to their identity that we disappeared by tricking us to think that we're part of a whole bigger scheme of a different group of people. The churches, Christianity is going to be is the leaders of the church, even though now it's one world religion. And there's going to be rapture. We're going to rapture the church. We're going to do second coming of Christ and all these other things when you're really supposed to be like Messiah. Okay. And Toko comes along, he says, hey, you worshiping Nimrod. They like, you can't tell these people that. And we start to wake up. Now, in the system they created here in America and around the world, there's always, they pit those who love the slave master or wanted to be or going to be part of this system against those that are fighting against it, that are tired of it. Of course, police brutality goes into effect. All kind of stuff is going on. And of course, now they've created Fun World and all these other things and vacation. And when you're really doing, you're working in the Most High's kingdom and you're working for the system, people in the system, they're doing so much debauchery and under the scene, but okay, but you must look good, look like we're doing good things, right? Helping people on the same time to destroying communities, destroying the world. Oh, but at the same time, we're cleaning it up. Okay, so two different factions, controlled opposition. So here we are, where Luca says, once the Gentiles' time is fulfilled, it's time to do what? Ezekiel 38. And this is where we get into, I'll go back to the NIV, just so you know the title. And of course, there's other scriptures talking about this. So the NIV, we'll talk about, makes it a little bit simpler. They say the Tata nZambi's great victory over the nations. The word of Tata nZambi came to me, Benan Muntu, set your face against Gog of the land of Magog and the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. Prophesy against him and saying that this is what the sovereign Tata nZambi, I'm against you, Gog, chief prince, and of course Gog now runs the world, by the way. The people of Gog, they're in charge. Meshech and Tubal, I will turn you around, put hooks in your jaws, and bring you out with your whole army, your horses, your horsemen, full of armor, and great horde of large and small shields, all of them brandishing their swords. Persia, Cush, and Put will be with them. All the shields, the helmet, also Gomer. Remember, we became like Gomer the harlot, with all the troops of Bet Togarmah from the far north, the many nations with you. Get ready, be prepared, you and all the hordes gathered about you, and take command of them. And many days you'll be called to arms. In future years, you will invade a land that has recovered from war, as people were gathered from many nations to the mountains of Isolde, which have long been desolate. They had been brought out from the nations, and now I will all of them live in safety. This is like the valley of Jehoshaphat. And you, all your troops and the many nations, you will go up advancing like a storm. This is what the sovereign said. On that day, thoughts will come into your mind, and you will devise an evil scheme. You will say, I will invade a land of unwalled villages. I will attack a peaceful and unsuspecting people, all of them living without walls and without gates. I will plunder and loot and turn my hand against the resettled ruins and people gathered from the nations, rich in livestock, of goods living in the center of the land. Sheba, Didon, merchants of Tarshish, Have you come to plunder? Have you gathered your hordes to loot, to carry off silver and gold, to take away livestock and goods in seizure with plunder? Therefore, Ben to prophesy to the God, this is what the sovereign Tata nZambi says, in that day, my people in Solele are living in safety. Will you not take notice of it? You will come from your place in the far north, and you many nations, with you and all of them riding on horses, a great horde. You will advance against my people of Nzolele like a cloud that covers land. In days to come, Gog, I will bring you against my land, so that the nations you may know me, that I am proved holy through before your eyes. So this is why you have the biggest military. You're going to have the one world religion. You're going to have the one world government. You're going to have the one world beliefs. You're going to have the one world army. And this is going to be the battle against Tata nZambi. Okay? Why? He wants to show the world once and for all, you stupid. You cannot beat me. That's why you go running to, and that's why he's going to talk about it. And this is the whole concept of Revelation 12:9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast into the earth, and his Maleki Shetani were cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of Tata nZambi, Kongo, and the power of nKusu Klistu, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, who accused them before our Tata nZambi day and night. And those were the trials, where he would go, he accused us, Yesai would be your intercessor, and, everything was done according to what our judgments were. The deception is the heathens think that they were a part of this. The Gentiles think, oh yeah, he was accusing us too. No, you belong, all the nations I just read off belong to Shetani. Every last one of them. He took his entire kingdom and divided it into nations and countries. Okay? No, his accuser was against the house of Yisolide, Yakubi. That was it. He don't accuse no other nation but that. You have been lied to. So the Wa Kongo people, the nZambi, the Isolide, he's the accuser of the house of Yaounde, of Tata nZambi. Period. But he has deceived the whole world to think, no, he is the accuser of all Christians. When there was no such thing. It was Baklistu, Bakongo, Benan, Abantu, Bendwe, Benan Zambi, Benan Isolele. We are the people he accused day and night. And now, guess what? Boom. It's over. The mission for him to accuse us, this is how they knew the world was coming to an end. This is how they knew the time of the Gentiles would be fulfilled. And now the objective is to do what? Stop the Most High from bringing us to our land. So the devil, over the last 130 years, was plotting this. Even when Toko was here, even when Kimbangu was here, he was setting up the tares among the wheat to make sure that they don't come out of the bucket like we talked about. Don't make sure the fig tree that they took out of the scriptures that he was telling Kepa, okay, when it's come time, then will come the imposter to start to cause problems, right? They start to sprout. Wait, all these false messiahs showed up out of nowhere. Now comes the exposure to where he will, okay, that's why he says, and they overcome him by the blood of the Lamb. The blood of the Lamb is not Jesus the Christ that Rome gave you, and that you think that the people, Khazars, have taught. It is the Chiluba, the Banabe to the Benankame Bena Isolele. See, the Christian world has been tricked into thinking that Tata nZambi and Mpumu Tulendo is the god that they're praying to when they're praying to Jupiter or Zeus. Okay? Christianity has been made to believe that the Messiah who died on the cross was this guy that they gave you, okay, when he was a Muntu. He was not Apollo, which is what they gave you. They took Apollo and they switched nKusu Kongo and they put Apollo there. They put the Cain there, ball. Okay, this is what happened because the devil was saying, "I will not allow the church, Tata nZambi, to rule over my kingdom ever." So he made all of these plans, okay, and tricked the whole world into believing. And this is where we are today. This is why it's hard to tell people anything, because they don't know they've been bewitched like the Galatians, like the people. They don't know that the harlot has deceived the whole world. They're drinking the wine of the harlot. They're praying to a dead God. He's telling he's living. He's using sorcery. Like it says in the Apocalypse of Eliah, he says he can do everything that the Messiah did except raise the dead, which means to even pretend that you cast out demons. That's why you see people talking about, in the name of Jesus, I rebuke thee. I cast out the demons. Okay? And yet the house get tore up. Okay? And then the children still don't act right. And then you wonder, well, what happened? Because in the Voyage Shaitani, it's about what you give him that makes the thing happen. His whole process is what you're going to give me, and then I'll make it work, which is exactly what Simon the Sorcerer was doing. This is why the nZambi said, get away from this kind of nonsense, because his children, the Most High, for those who love him, you will not even know what he's going to give you. It's going to be amazing. That's why he said, obedience to me, you got nothing to worry about. Everything's taken care of. Remember I said, everything was so taken care of, Adam and Eva didn't even need clothes. Think about that. But they had everything they needed. Okay? And didn't even know any better. You know, that's why we say, when he said, be like little children don't worry about where the food and the clothes are coming from. They just know it's going to show up. Right? That's what he's talking about. The Father knows what you're going to need. Talk to your Father. Pray. Look for power. And see, this is what the world doesn't understand. You don't have to be begging on the street corner if the Most High loves you. This is what the world's been deceived by. But because right now, the bride is still Gomer, which they don't understand, the real bride is still Gomer, the harlot that has been given over to the pimp daddy, where the devil has been masquerading. Okay. Everybody else thinks that they now have the inheritance of Rabbanah, of Abraham. And his inheritance is the whole world. The whole world is his, was his. After Nimrod was gone, he's like, oh yeah, man, I got all of this. nZambi hooked me up. Plus the promised land. Okay? And he had power and he had abilities and he could do. And even then, he still kind of was wondering, oh man, my wife is too beautiful. They're going to make me. The Most High was like, what are you talking about, Abana? Nobody going to hurt you. That's what the Maliki came up and said, don't you dare touch that woman, or you're going to get jacked up. What are you doing to me? You didn't tell me your wife was, okay? Still doing stuff like that, okay? So now, we have gotten to the point where they have coded it, where they know there's an Exodus coming. But they're telling you second coming of Christ, rapture, all this other garbage, that there's going to be a purge, a recompense. There's going to be a harvest. But they have given you Hollywood and all these other interpretations, aliens and then demons going to different, we're going to outer space, and they're going to different realms. Okay, taking people there, body snatching, doing all kind of abduction and crap, garbage and garbage. Okay, this is what they've been doing. In that process, this is why Tata nZambi said, in this awakening now, as you're coming to know these things, pay attention to who's talking to you. Because this is exactly what the devil was prepared for. I am not going to let this happen. So I'm going to run interference, and I got my people ready, and they're all set, and they're going to trap you, so that the real gospel doesn't come out, so that the real truth is not known, and so that the kingdom of Congo never comes. Get ready for the shakeup. This is why people out there have, what's all this noise out here? Boom, boom. This is why they use all of this blue beam and all this other stuff, because they're not going to tell you that nZambi is against the nations. King Kongo is coming for his bride, and he looking to whoop you until I'm going to whoop everybody out here. I want my bride back. But they're not going to tell you that. Okay? The war is in effect. That's why he says, therefore ye heaven, rejoice therefore ye heaven, and yet that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he has but a short time. So this is why he's saying, what's going on with all these shootings? What's going on with all the hurricanes, and what's going on with all of this stuff that's going on? Why are we having all these sexual immorality, and we're dealing with all this stuff that's going on in the schools? And yeah, this is why. Because Shaitani knows I have a short time, and I'm going to be whooping up on y'all, okay? But you don't know it. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child, which was Toko. And the woman was given wings, and she flew away. And the serpent cast out his mouth, water flood over the woman, that might cast her carried away by the flood. See, this is why you get flooding. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened up. So the earth can help you, okay? And the dragon walked and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. This is why he said we come from a different spirit than they do. So now the dragon is at war with the Bana Betu Abantu Bendwe, the children of Isolele, the Wa Kongo people. So his job with all of his minions is to destroy the seed who keep the commandments of Tata nZambi and have testimony of Messiah, not no Jesus Christ. You see, this is what people understand. Who keep the commandment of Tata nZambi, okay, and have the testimony of Messiah, Yisu. Not no Apollo. This is Apollo. Okay, they already doing Revelation 9 and 11. You already being persecuted by Apollyon. Okay, this is Apollyon right here. You don't even know. Yes, they switched Messiah with Apollyon, and now you're getting jacked up. That's how the devil making war against us. You worshiping Apollyon, and Apollyon's trying to beat your behind. And you talking about pray to Jesus? No, Apollyon. That's the one that's trying to whoop you. Okay. So now, this is what's happening now in Africa with Russia and China and all these, because the dragon, of course, is symbolized by China, and is also Russia. It's affiliated with the U.S., and the other nations, because the whore is making them drunk, and the leaders of the nations are with the dragon. Okay? So now the whole thing is going to coincide with, okay? And so what you're dealing with are these offspring. When the wives of Lameka heard the decision of Adama that they were to continue to live with their husbands, that they turned upon him, saying, "O physician, heal thine own lameness." Because what had happened was they had made these women take a drop. They couldn't have children or something. Or it was also because Lameka had killed Tubal Cain because he tricked them to kill Cain. They alluded to the fact that he himself had been living apart from his wife since the death of Abel, and said, "Why should I beget children if it is but to expose them to death?" Okay? Because he wasn't with, though he had avoided intercourse with Eva, he was visited in his sleep by female spirits, and from his union with them sprang shades and demons of various kinds, and they were endowed with particular gifts. These are your Anunnaki. These are your other demons, I told you. Once upon a time, there lived in Palestine, a Philistine, a very pious man who had a son who knew the whole of the Tula by heart. It's Nkanda, really. When he was at the point of death, he sent his son and bade him request to study. Of course, this is how they make up their stuff. Okay. He gave the frog, this is what the frog this is the Moloch thing. All right. So don't always believe in that stuff. Okay. So you had Hanukkah, who Enoch, the ruler and the teacher. That's why his spirit will now manifest really soon more, to where he will bring forth the Tula, the Kanda. There will be the prophecies fulfilled of other things, but there must come the nKusu Kongo, the Quatalendo, who was involved with this, with the nZambi, who will usher in the new cities, like Toko was prophesying. Okay? That's why Tata nZambi has sent so many strong delusions out here, okay, that people don't even know. Because he was well aware that many things would become tainted from the beginning of the earth till now. That's why you out here, you can STEM, science, technology, math, engineering. You can do all these other things, and the Most High is like, this is the knowledge that comes from the black cube, that comes from Mount Hermon, that these wicked creatures that are deceiving you because they don't want the Bantu people to unite. So now they've created a world where you interact with all the other nations. You think you're all part of them, when really the one nation that the Most High cares about the most is the Kingdom of Kongo, the Intotila, the Banabetu Misolade. So the concept is the dragons from to say, I will make sure that these people don't know nothing about that. Okay. And so because he said that, this is why they did not tell you that this is exactly what's going on. But while he was still speaking, I found myself upon the Intotila and said, "O eternal mighty one, I am no longer in the Kemble in which I was on high, and what my soul longed to understand in my heart, I do not understand. And then I will sound, hold on, let me see, give something. Yeah. And he said to me, what is desired in thy heart, I will tell thee. because thou hast sought to see of the 10 plagues, which I have prepared for the heathen, and have prepared beforehand at the passing over the 12th hour of the earth. And this is what they keep talking about, the doomsday clock. This is what they really mean by the doomsday clock. Well, now they're telling you, now they've been saying, oh yeah, we played you. They've been throwing in your face this whole coronation of the king garbage, and all of these celebrities on TV. They've been quoting, all these other things, and politicians and whatever. They know that they have brought you to the 12th hour. And this is the time. What you're starting to see is, I hear, and they already coded with the 4 horses that died in the Kentucky Derby. It's represent the apocalypse. Here what I divulge unto thee, so it come to pass, the first pain of great distress. So this is why you're seeing a lot of suffering now from people who are dealing with these incidences that they're freaking out about, a lot of hurt, anger, pain, problems. Okay. The second, conflagration of many cities. Conflagration, we talked about it. The cities are going to be, oh, wow. How should I put this? Out of control. And that's why this is what's going to cause that, is they started with, first of all, what's triggering it first is the reparations thing that people are going to get mad about. They're getting upset about the immigration stuff. They're getting upset about the who's going to be president, Democrat, Republican, the king stuff that's going on. You see what's going on in France already. They're going crazy. You see the war with Russia and the Ukraine thing going. Okay. You see what's going on in the Congo and South Africa, no electricity issues, and you see what's going on in Haiti and Brazil. I mean, all kind of stuff in Asia. You saw it going on with the people who were fighting over the diseases. You see what's going on with Taiwan and all this, and you see what's going on with Kim Jong-un. Okay. The third, destruction and pestilence of animals. So you're about to witness, and it's already been kind of triggered somewhat, mass die-offs of creatures. So you're gonna go start see animals just kicking over. What the heck going on with the animal just dying? Okay. Destruction of earthquake and the sword. The multiplication of hail and snow. This is why you're seeing major snowstorms that's been doing. The wild beasts will be their grave. So you're going to see animals just going crazy. The 8th hour pestilence, 8th hunger and pestilence will alternate with destruction. The 9th punishment of the sword and flight and distress. Thunder and voices and destructive earthquakes. See, people here keep saying, I'm hearing this noise. Boom, what's going on? Now, there's going to be other parts of this too. Heat, massive heat, massive, activation. Ooh, 2-5. Okay. So, the whole concept of what the world doesn't get is, and what they've been hiding from you, is everything was designed to where they're trying to stop and put their world over the Most High's without you knowing that, or making you think you're talking to him, when really it's all about the destruction. You see? And that goes back to Revelation. This goes back to Isaiah chapter 2, Isaiah chapter 2, Isaiah 24, 49, Psalms 120. Is it 121? I have to look at it. But it talks about what he's going to do. Psalm 149. Okay. And this is why, and I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yesaya, not no Apollo, Yisu. Because these are the people who started to be, because this woman, her son is pretending to be the Messiah. This is what they did. You've been duped. So she's been killing Bantu people, Wa Kongo people, while you think that she's coming after Christians because you're already under the distress and the anger and wrath of the Most High from Romans because you're not telling the truth. All right. And now we know that America is connected to the 1 and 11. The 7th, we had Britain, and the beast that was not even as the 8th, and there's a 7th, and as of the 7th. And this is your Revolutionary War, and go into perdition. And that's where America's headed. Okay. And the 10 were 10 kings who received the kingdom yet. So they already have the 10 kingdoms. Like I told you, the earth has 10 kingdoms. Everything's gonna go away and become the NWO 10 kingdoms. And they shall make war with Isaiah, Wa Kongo, and he gonna beat the bricks off of them. Okay. He is Mfumu, and the King, and Tata nZambi is gonna be a part of that. And this is where he goes to where he said with Hanoka that the nZambi will come with 10,000, okay, of his hosts. And he said unto me, the mighty that thou sawest, where the horses are the peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So King Kongo that they've been mocking is going to come up against all of these people that the whore sits on. So that means everybody who has been drunk with the wine of the harlot, everybody that doesn't know that the first woman, the real first woman has bewitched them, okay, they're going to be blindsided with this. And the 10 will hit the whore and shall hate the whore and shall make her desolate. You're standing in the whore. And the nZambi who put it in their hearts to fulfill his will and agreed to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the word of Tata nZambi shall be fulfilled. Okay, we're coming up close to this part right here. We're getting close to this. It's going to start. And the woman that thou sawest, the great city, will reign over the kings of the earth. Okay. That's why the UN, that's where the UN is at. Hello? The UN is where all the kings of the earth reign. Okay. All right. So we're now going into the period of massive distress, but which of course Toko said there will be a collection of the tares and the wheat shall be protected. But then it's going to go into 2nd Ezra where you're going to see where was going to be a gathering of the people, and those who are doing the righteous path will be celebrating and rejoicing that know the truth. Those who didn't even know are going to be sorry, and those who participated in our destruction or became the false shepherds or did things that they're going to be bound. That's why they took that out of the Bible. Because 2nd Ezra makes it clear only the chosen people could be the 12 tribes who have been divided into sub-tribes. And you have a lot of people out there that have been put out there by these fallen angels to be giving you misinformation here and there so that you don't pay attention that they are not talking to the Most High. They are bringing you back to the Anunnaki. And I'm telling you, it's very clear why I said, do not separate from Yesiah, because they are already in position to devour the sheep. And they're trying their best to do so, because Shaitani doesn't want you got people talking about Kintwadi of our nation, but yet they're working for the other side. And you're going to see this. They want the Most High's nation to be one and in Kintwadi and peace, but yet secretly they have these oaths and pacts with false gods. In order, because especially for those who are tares and who were not chosen, they want you to be where they are going. And that's why you have to be very careful, because the Most High is well aware of who these people are. He said they prophesy, I didn't send them. So you must always check with Tata nZambi or the Malik, the Mfumu Kongo, the Most High, the Wanda, Yesiah, whoever. Did this person come in your name? Okay. This is why, from what I have witnessed in the time that I've spent with Yesiah, nKusu Kongo, is they're not everybody who you think. Okay. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that people are like, hey, I was like, whoa. Now I understand why the world is the way it is. Because the shadow puppets, they're always present and they're always trying to get to you. Okay. And the Most High soon will get rid of the shadow puppets. And that's the whole concept of the renewal process. And it goes back to what it says in Hebrew, I remember your sins no more. So when he tells the bride, this is what the Maliki Kongo are waiting for, this is what's going to activate the gathering, this is what's going to bring the full completion, is when Tata nZambi says, I'm ready to bring my dispersed home. And you got people talking about coming to Africa. Hey, like I said, if the Most High leads you, do it. But what I'm saying is, you got to remember, there's going to be a cleansing in the land. Because when the Most High comes to rule this earth, there will be no iniquity anywhere. No. Everybody will be in their proper place, doing what they're supposed to do, according to the will of the Most High from then on. Okay? And you must remember that will be the next stage. So once he removes the iniquity, once he gets everything, we're going to start getting things in order. The world will then be renewed. There will be a renewal of the earth. Because there'll be a renewal of the heavens and a renewal of the earth. And this will all result in turmoil, massive birth pains. They're calling it climate change garbage. Okay. Because they're coding these things, that this is the end of the age of the fallen ones and the gods, and the beginning of the rise of the righteous. Okay. So we're in the transition, and it's about to go down. But anyway, so prepare your hearts and minds accordingly. Whatever the Holy Spirit, the Wanda, truly leads you to do, and understand that there's a lot of people out here that you see that they ain't going to be around much longer. Because the Tata nZambi knows who's plotting and scheming, who's using their gifts for the wrong reasons, who's using their knowledge to mislead people, who are calling themselves titles that he doesn't agree with, who's doing things that they shouldn't be doing, and who are under oaths of other gods that are claiming to be his. Okay, and so, like I said, soon and very soon, the reality check's going to hit that you're living in this false reality that they created. And everything was designed to keep the kingdom of Kongo from coming over the kingdom of Shaitani forever. But now will be the reality check. Okay. All right. So Zola Kwingi and Sambololo in Awezi Yave Kongo Twala. And like I said, we are here. It is going to happen. There is going to be massive, massive changes all across the earth. And you're going to witness things like you've never seen. You're going to know it's already starting to happen with people freaking out. Why is happening? What is going on? Blah, 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 blah. I don't get it. People just losing it. Okay, I see it on Twitter all the time where people posting these things, and some of it's real, some of it's fake, but you know there's obviously the whole distress concept is being played out, you know? And they're making it look like, oh yeah, the governments are destroying people and whatever, and they don't understand the Most High is behind the scenes of where he is removing those people. He's removing the earth of those who want to live in sin and sin on a regular basis, okay, that are not his. You see? And he wants to bring those back to him who truly want to serve him because they want to walk in his way to the best of their ability. And they want to get rid of all of the iniquity that they're having to see on a regular basis. You see? And this comes with the removal of all unrighteous, really wicked, and oh my gosh, people who are doing some really bad things that people don't even know. All right. Zola Kwingi, Sambolola, Izawezi Yave Kongo Twala. And like I said, be prepared because every day now, I just saw that they posted there's been more mass shootings than days of the week. I told people there was going to be a shooting almost every day. Okay, we're there. You see what's going on now. They're talking about the airlines and problems with that. People are tripping out on flights and all kind of stuff going on. And the weather is going to be a problem. And people are dealing with a lot of different things with the weather now. Okay. People are dealing with a lot of debts in their family. People are dealing with, and they're like, where is Jesus at? Where is Jesus at? Okay, there's going to be some things with that too. Okay. I told people they were going to play out the whole Left Behind series now in reality, and that's where we are. But they're not telling people that that's all going to be masking the fact that there is a regathering of the children of Isolde. Like he talked to Abana. When the heathen's time is up, my children come home. But the problem is the world doesn't know that you have to either be of the house of Wa Kongo or you have to be the house of Shetani. There's no in between. You cannot say, I'm going to worship both of these houses together. This is what the world's been tricked into. You think that you're worshiping the Most High, but you're defaulting to the devil because you have to be a Maleki Makongo in order to get into the kingdom. And they lied about that. You have to be the house of Wa Kongo, which is in nZambi, or you have to be the house of Baal. And Baal has disguised his house in different forms. You have to either be a Bantu Bendwe, Baklistu, Tata nZambi way, or you're doing, like I said, Christianity thinks that they're doing the way of the Creator. And they're not even close. That's why things are going to fall apart even more. All right, so Ingita, Sambalolo, Zolokwe.